Okay, growing up in Africa, or should I say more specifically Nigeria, our idea of romance was very simplistic. And I mean romance in all of it, like the kissing, the flirting, in all of it was very simplistic. I know some of you are going to feel like you're saying too much or revealing family secrets, but sometimes to understand the larger concepts, you need to like start from the smaller ingredients, start from the seeds and where they started from. And for me, it's like we didn't, growing up, I didn't see a lot of kissing. The kissing that we saw was either in a quick commercial about a family or Nollywood. And those kisses were very much these pinchy, conservative looking kisses. I'm talking like, it was like just a pinch lip, and that was enough to get the blood flowing. Just a little, when you haven't seen kisses that often, a little, a little pinchiness, was all it took for us to get going. And it was a lot of the time what we saw. And if the kiss was going to go beyond the pinch and get like a little X-rated and a little intense, they would either move their mouth away and just off the screen, but you didn't know that things had just popped off. It wasn't very, revealing. The first kiss I ever saw was my cousin with her boyfriend, and it was like one of those things where you spend a day with your older cousin or older brother or whatever, and they have to look after you, but you catch them doing adult things, and she kisses her boyfriend. That was the first time I saw a French kiss, and it freaked me out. It absolutely freaked me out. I had never seen anything like that because, for one, the pinchy is a very, I hate that I've called it pinchy. That was not what it was called. I'm just calling it pinchy. It was like a little screwed lip, just like the same one you make when you're doing a strict little. So the pinchy kiss was an easier kiss to understand because it was, okay? They tried their best to keep it as clean as possible. The French kiss was an obscenely far concept from what the pinchy kiss was, okay? Like, to see two grown adults just slobber each other like that, just open their mouth, saliva just all over. I was like, what is he doing to her? I was concerned, and I wanted to stop it, but I was like, yo, they're so much taller. I am in no place to like critique this, but this is a little weird. And this is off, and she doesn't stop it, Like, hey, I was gonna say like, oh my God, like he's spitting on you, like let him stop it. But then I was like, she's going in for more. So obviously it can't be that bad if she's continuing. But I was like, I would never want anybody to spit on me. Why would I? Anyways, let's not go too deep into this concept. But anyways, I watched that kiss, and of course, she looks back, and I'm like, I act like I wasn't looking at it, but I was disgusted. Ultimately, I was like, you should never, ever do that in front of me again. Anyways, point here being, the point, right? Romance and all these things were very small concepts. We didn't understand. Even when it came to the man pursuing the woman in every show and everything, even in the books, it had always been the lady's by the stream, she's fetching water or whatever she's doing, washing clothes or plaiting her hair, and then the man comes and he's peeking. A lot of the things that are currently problematic. He's peeking or he's like lurking because he wants to go after her. Then there's ancient mythologies about this. There's the mythology of Artemis and Actaeon creeping on the goddess Artemis, and she curses him and turns him into a reindeer. And that is a Greek mythology, factual, and I guess the Greeks didn't really think it was okay. They thought it was a creep move. I guess that's why they wrote it into their own archaeology, their own mythology. But not to go off on a tangent, but anyways, so it would be, the idea was that you creeped on this woman, and eventually when she caught you, you told her that you were obsessed with her, right? I know it sounds wild now in 2025, but the concept was very romantic for its time. So you creeped, and she said, hey, you are no longer a stalker. Thank you for hollering at me. You meant business. You're about it. You can have it. I wish, again, that most of this was jokes, but this is exactly how the movies would play it out. Now, if she ever did reject the man, the rejection would also now play out to be this long, drawn-out idea of flirting or romance. So it was like, stop it, get off, don't be that way, like, like you're being ridiculous. And he would just continue to persist until eventually she would be like, okay, so what is it that you like about me? And then he would start to like say the things or whatever. And it was very ABC. There wasn't really much nuance or intersection, or like, there wasn't really much going on between what connection meant and chemistry. You didn't know what that meant. Nobody talked about what your favorite color was, or what you liked, or where you like to eat, or what your ideas are on politics and science and philosophy. Nobody cared about that. The romance was very simplistic. It was very straightforward. Very 1950s American, family structure. It was not a long game poly. It was very much, hey, partner, me, man. And then, and I remember I used to think that it was strange. I had always thought it was strange. Because I just felt like I'd never seen like my parents vibe. I just never seen it. But then I had pretty young parents, so like my idea of romance was very different. So I was able to see, I guess, them still play and still be joyful and still be curious and still learn, and while getting to know each other and while loving each other, because their union and their chemistry gave me a full idea as to how human beings bonded versus what the TV was showing, which made it all even more interesting, because I was like, hey, they're just pinchy kisses and they're like, very cutthroat, abstract connections on TV. Even at my cousins' places, their parents were very much abstract connections. Everybody else I saw, but my parents were like music, movies, film, conversation, banter, and they had that. And because they had that, I was like, whoa, this is different. Until this day, I still think it affected the way I came out as an adult. If we're being honest, I don't think that when other Nigerian or should I say African kids speak about their parental, their upbringing and experience, I just feel like there is that difference there. Like, it made me weird. Don't get me wrong, it made me very weird. But there are, like everything else, there are pros and cons. Anyways, let's stick to the topic. But yeah, the idea of romance and flirting and pursuit and all of those things were not a very embraced concept in our, like, to be fair, it's hardly being embraced here too, but there was a lot more go possess and then provide and then you acquire a woman. That was how it was supposed to go. That was how it is going. And that was how most of us grew up understanding the way it worked. I could go on and on, but this is just one episode and we're talking about romance and kisses, so I don't want to go off on a tangent. But yeah, and then the next time, the one time I did finally set up my big kiss, and I was going to get a kiss. I was in boarding school. I'll never forget this girl. I don't want to say her name because I feel like social media now, everybody sees everything. So, and we were going to have this big, I don't know who snitched, but eventually I think I got told on. And all I got was a hug, and I still got in trouble for the hug because the hug was fornication. At the time, because you felt remotely close to the girl. Oh man, I'm gonna have so much fun telling you guys these stories, but that's just episode 2 for now.